What's going on, everybody? This is Kenny Cummins here, chilling with Kenny C, right here on TMVCafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. We're gonna get to something different from what people are accustomed to. Uh, this is the Royal Rumble recap, and I was at Lucas Oil Stadium this past Saturday for WWE's Royal Rumble, which is officially the road to WrestleMania is underway. My first ever Royal Rumble, my first ever 4-day Royal Rumble weekend. Shout out to Indianapolis, the city, lovely city, sports town, wrestling town. All of that is true. I've seen it for 4 days. They are a passionate sports town. And joining me is a man that was also in attendance for that event this past Saturday, hip hop artist out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's been on the show numerous times. It seems like once every single year up to this point for as long as I've I've been 5, 6 years, it seems like. So I can't have a year of a show without this man, Peter Wesley, with me right now. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good, man. It's going good. Royal Rumble was a once in a lifetime experience. So I loved it.
Yeah, man, it was my first ever Royal Rumble, my first of the big four. So I got some catching up to do. But thank you, Indiana Sports Corp and WWE, for at least bringing it within distance for me. 3 hour
Yes,
drive, uh, and it was a great time. It was and over 70,000 fans in attendance for that show. So it was a very encouraging start to the PLE portion of WWE for 2024. So let's start off with the women's Royal Rumble, which started off the event. Some notable appearances: Nikki Bella, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss. I think she had the loudest pop out of all the women, at least in
I
my
agree.
opinion. And
No, I agree. One of the
yeah,
top pops of the night.
yeah, definitely one of the loudest pops. So, and of course, some NXT. Roxanne Perez definitely made a statement. She ended up being the one up. Jada Parker was there as well. Of course, Trish Stratus, Miss 25 year herself. It was quite the kickoff to the event. Of course, the Queen is now on her quest of reclaiming her throne of winning back a championship. Obviously, she came back from an injury. So, what's your take on the women's and what's some of the highlights that stood out to you?
Oh man, Women's Royal Rumble was it was fun. Some of the highlights that stick to my memory is uh Jordan Grace
Yeah,
coming in, doing the lifting up um um not
Hyper.
Piper,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And I mean not just lifting her up with ease.
yeah,
And that was I like the spot between Jordan and Naomi as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Um I liked I liked seeing Alexa Bliss back, and generally, I'm going to be honest, but I'm not a big Alexa fan. But I, for whatever reason, I like seeing her showing in the Rumble, and the people like seeing her back. Trish, it's always good to see Trish Stratus in the ring, and she looks like she never takes a day off from the gym. Like she just looks like she is just in shape all the time. No days off.
No.
I inspired to get into a shape like that.
uh Trish Stratus, 25 years and
Mhm.
she's like a fine wine, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like she look 20 if you post a picture of her in her first appearance and then you put it next to the Royal Rumble, it's literally the same. Like it's just
Yeah.
she man, her people like her, Lita and others, or Mickey for that matter,
Hmm.
they take care of themselves, man. And when wrestling takes a toll on a human's body,
It does.
but Trish, she just takes care of herself, and obviously with it being their 25-year anniversary, she had to show the young girls, hey, don't get it twisted. I'll give you that chick kick or that Stratus Corona or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously now there was a lot of people hoping AJ Lee was going to be one of the surprises. I feel like with AJ at this stage of her life, she enjoys life outside away from wrestling. And I did see CM Punk kind of like have that segment with Jackie Redmond getting people's hopes up, jokingly saying, "Oh, I know who's gonna be in the Rumble or whatever."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I do remember him saying that.
but I just think AJ is enjoying her life outside away from wrestling. And look, and, hey, availability is the best ability. She
You know,
made clear she distanced herself, and I'm okay with it.
the person I'm actually surprised that didn't show up in the Rumble isn't AJ Lee. My person I'm surprised didn't show up in the Rumble is actually oh my God, now her name just slips out of my mind. She shows up, it seems like every Rumble.
Yeah,
Um uh Layla's old partner.
Michelle McCool.
Michelle McCool.
Okay,
She usually pops up every
yeah,
Rumble. Not only just pops up in the Rumble, she pops up and dominates in the
yeah,
Rumble. She at least gets about, good three, four people eliminated before she disappears. I mean, one time she was in the crowd with her kids.
yeah.
And
I
so
remember.
I was expecting, I was like, oh yeah, it's the, Michelle McCool one night only special.
Yeah,
Because usually your legends come in, they get their pop, do a few signature things, and then they get eliminated. Michelle comes in as if she's still on the roster, beats everybody up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and I guess they were the only Hall of Famers I know that was at the Rumble was Nikki and Trish. Everybody else was main roster or
Yeah,
NXT.
yeah.
And the women's division is just continues to grow. I'm
I
cool
think that
with
speaks how the depth of the WWE women's division now.
yeah,
That
yeah,
in the men's that you we don't even have space for that right now.
yeah. So it's just you know, I'm I like Julia. I like
Mm.
Stephanie.
Mhm.
I mean Jada. She's making noise as well.
Last
Um,
Legend looked really good in the
last
Rumble.
year legend
Yeah.
like main roster coming soon. I truly believe.
Hmm.
Of course, Roxanne. The fact that this is a weird thing, whether it's men's or women's, that a NXT star ends up as the one up. That tells
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and with the year that she had last year, like Shawn Michaels bringing in Stephanie, bringing in Julia, bringing in another woman, and she's facing them all head on, and they that's a lot for someone like her, and she just handled it just fine. So Roxanne has evolved so much. She's grown. I feel like she's a lot more confident now.
Yeah.
So she's always had the talent. It's just a confidence thing with me with her, and she's got that patted down. It's the confidence aspect. So but yeah, Charlotte Flair is the winner. She's now the first woman to win the Rumble twice, and now we'll see which direction she goes. Is she going for Tiffy, or do we get that trilogy between her and Rhea,
I
considering
th-
they want a piece?
I think I think what the people want, and I think what something that would be a good attraction for WrestleMania is Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. That you know. they got similar styles. You can even argue that, that Tiff might be a new version of Charlotte. You could see it definitely seems like there's a huge influence of Charlotte and Tiffany. Um, that's a match. It's fresh. It's almost fantasy booking. I say pull the trigger on it now while we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like a sure thing with Charlotte and Tiff, but then I saw Monday and her
Yes,
interaction with Rhea. They say, we 1-1 in WrestleMania. But Tiffany, she's up next. And why not give
yes,
her that? Why not give Tiffany one of those main spots for WrestleMania against someone who's looking to reclaim her throne? And then you got Tiffany looking to take that next step. Tiffany has been great up to this point. I mean, why not? You know,
although
yeah,
I feel like storyline wise for Mania, the perfect storyline for Tiffany would have been her and Nia. I
yeah,
think that story should have been it definitely needed a better ending, and with Nia on Raw, I don't think we'll get it, and
yeah,
I'm a little upset about that because that it was perfectly set up for a Mania match, and I
yeah,
so that's the only thing that I would have reason I would have not done Charlotte because I was like it was just classic setting up for a storyline right there, and we didn't get the payoff that we needed.
yeah. They definitely had things going, just being allies for a long time. Tiffany
Yeah.
had the briefcase, and then Nia being a little paranoid a little bit, thinking
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Tiffany was or wasn't. I mean, her cashing in the briefcase was perfect. That just the everything about it was just perfect.
yes,
So yeah, I can understand that. Maybe Tiff and Nia, that could have been the move there. But this roster is stacked. Charlotte is back. And you're gonna have to make room for the queen somewhere. So, maybe they will revisit it at some point, but you know, that's Triple
you
H's
got to get
choice.
things when they're hot, and when they're not
Yeah,
hot, it's
yeah,
like look at Otis and Chad Gable. There was a
yeah,
time that we needed, the people wanted that, and then now
yeah,
it's happening. I'm not saying that people don't want it, but not as much as they did a year
yeah,
ago. And that so I sometimes you got to strike when it's hot, and
yeah,
I think there's a time to come back to the Nia thing, but it won't be the same. But I also feel the same about her and Charlotte. To get this, her and Charlotte to get this quality WrestleMania match, because I mean, and there's no disrespect, but I don't know how many WrestleMania Charlotte has in her at the top of her game, because
yeah.
she's been hurt a few times. You know what I'm saying? That's injuries take a toll on you.
Hmm.
So when we do get this, I want main event Charlotte, and I don't want when she's not, past her. Like I want grade A Charlotte and Tiff. I want that. So, I don't know how many, we can't wait on that too much longer.
Yeah,
Um, and so yeah, if that's the way she goes, then I wouldn't want to see that now.
yeah. So on to the tag team title match, 2 out of 3 falls, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns. Of course, DIY, another team intervened. And
Yes.
honestly, I didn't know who it was at first until they showed the replay. It ended up, and I was like, two random dudes coming in to attack these guys, and it ended up being the Street Profits. Now
Yes.
they have expressed their frustration because Motor City Machine Guns come along 3 matches in, they win the tag team titles, and then Ciampa's trying to get that dog and Gargano in him. He's frustrated, and
Yeah.
then we saw what Gargano did, and they won the tag team titles then, and now it's like I feel like the tag team division looks promising. I think the Guns being there gave the division a spark that it needed. So now with the Prophets looking to get back in tag team title contention, it'll be interesting to see what happens with those three teams and anyone else in particular. Um, I first off, there's a lot of talk about Death Rebel these days. Um, I
Yeah.
we don't know what he looks like. We just know the name, and we just know how people feel about his theme songs. Now we don't expect him to be Jim Johnson. Okay, that's the OG right there. He's the GOAT. But now there's rumblings that some of the wrestlers are not very happy with the theme songs that they've had. So now they all of them are trying to get their old theme songs back. And I know one theme song I want to hear back. That's Sheamus. Give him his old theme song back. You
I
know?
seen Sheamus do an interview, I think with Chris Van Vliet, where he
Yeah.
had said he'd been asking for it. He's tired of people asking him about it because
Yeah.
he's already asked. They've told him no so many times. He's like, "Hey, how about you ask WWE?" So he's just as frustrated as everyone else that wants his old thing. My thing about Rebel, I mean, they have mainly in the beginning they have made a few songs that are good. And here's my thing about them is, or him. I don't know if it's just one guy. I
I
thought it
think
was
it's
a
just
couple.
one guy.
Just one guy.
I
Okay.
think it's one guy.
The only reason I made me think it was one guy because I think it was some article. I think he got in some controversy where I think he
Yeah.
had said some like racist stuff or something, and then people reported WWE and it was like, well, we're not working with them anymore, which I thought that was the case, but
Mm.
I don't know if they're back. If he's back, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't think in 2025, I don't think one person or one group needs to make all the music a majority. WWE is a billion-dollar company. You
Yeah.
can reach out to other artists, even just indie artists if it needs, and license for a song.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that hard. Um, it shouldn't be because you can't because you have the problem where we have at the Rumble, everybody's song sounded the same. It's the same style. Even we can blame the music, but I mean the music sounded the same. There's a lot of us, unless it was a guy that certain standouts like AJ Styles had his old music back, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that was like the song played, and I had to sit and wait for the graphic to show up to know who this person was. And it's like I've watched the show regularly. Why don't I recognize half of these theme songs coming on?
Yeah, like it's yeah, that's just been the thing. That's probably one of the rare complaints that we have, that fans
Yeah,
have, is the theme songs. And now that some of the wrestlers are speaking up on it,
yeah,
that should tell you, like, like we're on the road to WrestleMania. Gotta make things work, man. Like in Triple H, this is what you want. You want to make these call the shots, make these decisions. You ain't got Vince over your head, so there's a lot of people to please. So you just got to make it work somehow. Like and the theme songs, man. Like he's had some good theme songs. He's had some really
yeah.
good theme songs. Like, but just like Jim Johnson, he had some hits. He had some misses as well. But because he came from the Attitude Era, it's he's that guy. You
I
know.
think also another thing is Attitude Era and um New Generation Era. You didn't have as many people coming in,
Yeah.
and so like there is like it's probably like 100 guys on the roster,
Yeah.
and I feel like at one point the roster was just like the same size as the women's division, like the entire roster.
Yeah.
And so now like there is people popping up constantly, and then like so you making new songs for all these people. I mean, yeah, a lot of them's gonna be weak. Like, it's so many people.
Yeah. It's
But
something.
Yeah, I would really like just reach out to some indie artists, like
Yeah,
and
man.
and have a rotation amount of artists that you can use. And because one, everybody doesn't need the same style of music. It's a lot of different things. Like we could WWE's got the money. Like let's not be cheap with the music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
billion dollar industry,
yeah,
billion dollar
let's
industry. Like, come on, man. You got connections. You got
yeah.
you got the mainstream artists if you want to, but
Yeah.
obviously in indie artists in particular, like, come on, man. And some of these artists, some of these wrestlers, they have some contacts with some artists. So,
Yeah.
to make it work. That's all I gotta say. Uh now,
And look at
Cody,
Cody.
Cody, yeah, the Downstraight song is a decade old, and he's been using it since he was with TNA, since he was with the Indies. And it wasn't until WWE was when it really got some pop, and the role, yeah, Cody, it's work. Downstraight, they're not a mainstream band from my understanding, indie. So
They're indie, but they
yeah,
do they got a good relationship with like a few number of wrestlers because I think they
yeah,
made a couple themes.
yeah,
Not even
for Nick, for Cadona,
yeah.
for a couple of folks. So yeah, man, make it work, WWE. Y'all, mean, with the money that y'all met, with the generate, y'all can make it work somehow.
Do they make
Uh,
Always Ready?
yeah,
And they
yeah,
made Wanted Man too?
yeah.
Man.
I believe they made the Miz. I came to play as well.
I know they made that. I do know they
Yeah,
made that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So they got no misses down.
Yeah, yeah.
No misses on down straight. They 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 make it work. So speaking of Cody, Kevin Owens for the championship. Obviously, KO Kevin a few weeks back went to Sammy, said, "Hey, you going?" He basically said he pretty much demanded that, "Hey, you're going to help me retain the championship." He wasn't no asking, being polite. He basically said, I demand you help me win the championship." That's basically what he said. So Sammy was there, and they beating the heck out of each other with the ladders. And then there was a spot in which Cody went for an Alabama slam, and oh my goodness, he took some hard hits. Cody did
Yes.
too, but for Kevin, he got more of the brunt
He
of
did, but
yeah,
before that,
yeah,
that suplex that Kevin did
yeah.
to Cody on the ladder,
Mm-hmm.
that spot, I really thought like, oh, this match is over with. This
Yeah.
this is
Yeah. Oh man, and Sammy was there. He was checking on both guys.
yeah, yeah.
He didn't look like he was trying to intervene too much. He was just checking on both guys, and then you know he just he just gonna sit there and watch his friend in a championship match, get Alabama slammed through the ladder. And yeah, that was all she wrote for Kev. Uh, it just seems like with Kevin and the Royal Rumble and championship matches, to use a football analogy, Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble is like Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. You know how it's going to end. And Kevin, he's great. He's always great, no matter what he does. It's just that he always went into the Royal Rumble and he doesn't get his hand raised. He's always like he's gonna show up and do big things. And we knew Cody was gonna win, but it was at least it kind of lead us to what happened on Monday, in which
Yes.
he came for Sammy and he sailed
Even
the
though he
heck.
said he wasn't.
Yeah, even though he said, I mean, and then Sammy, he lost the Punk to begin with. Be like, shake your hand, and then boof, there go Kev. And I unhinged Kevin Owens is the best Kevin Owens. I've
Oh
always
yeah.
said that. Unhinged, like just this delusion, this victim that he's playing. It's almost like he's Drake or something. But man, it's just yeah, unhinged KO is the best KO. And now we know at least Kevin and Sammy, they gonna have something brewing down the road. Now that leads us to the men's rumble. Um, I rooted for CM Punk to win.
Oh,
Maybe
so did I. So did
it
I.
was a sympathy, not a sympathy, but just like man, he's came back. He's doing the right things. He's on his best behavior. He had a setback at last year's Rumble. He got hurt. So come on, man. Give him this moment. Let him win the Royal Rumble.
I would
Uh,
have gave it to him just because he hurt himself in last year's Rumble and
yeah,
still finished it.
yeah, just yeah,
I mean, like he still pushed through, and it was like,
yeah,
man, that was knowing that he was hurt.
yeah,
Um, and not only did he push through, I mean, like he was still doing like character work, like the, I'm not gonna lose to Dusty's kid and all that
yeah,
stuff. Like he was still giving it 110%. And it
yeah,
was like, oh, he got hurt 15 minutes before any of that stuff even happened. Like,
yeah.
oh man, like, because me, and that's why I'm not a wrestler. Like, if I'm hurt, I'm tell the ref I'm out. Like, tell the ref I no like
Yeah, just yeah. So I was really heavily pumped. I love AJ getting his theme song back.
oh
I love that the Rumble started off with Rey Mysterio and Penta giving us
yeah,
giving us some Lucha Underground vibes.
yes,
Of
definitely.
course, here's here's the question: Did Penta's feet touch the? Did they touch the floor?
So hey, much respect to Penta. He's amazing in the ring,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna lie to you. His feet touched the ground,
Yes,
and
it
it
did.
bothered me all night because he was in the match way longer than he needed to be, and I was like, this man is doing Canadian destroyers and all this stuff, and he should have been thrown out of this match. Like I was, and those spots always do scare me because
Yeah,
like. I mean, guys like, Ray or Shawn Michaels make that spot look it's like it's simple.
yeah,
And it's so easy to just touch both of your feet on the floor.
yeah,
Like that's a spot I would not, and especially you gotta think about guys that's in that match like 10, 20 minutes, you're getting tired.
yeah,
I'm not teasing that spot because then now I done because I know like I think there was one time was it like Kofi or John Morrison, one of them,
yeah,
where like they had messed up and then like the ref was like, no, you're eliminated. And I
yeah.
think like they was actually playing to make it. And I forgot who it was. And
I
it's
think it
just
was
like
Kofi. I,
Kofi. I just
I,
know if that's me, I could see myself being the one messing up that spot. And it's just like so I would never I mean, maybe one or two spots that I've practiced multiple times, but
yeah,
I wouldn't do too many of those. And there's a lot of guys in that match that do a lot of the over the rope and then still on the apron
yeah,
and those are great spots. Don't get me wrong. I just it's a lot of room for error. I wouldn't.
yeah. Like in the Rumble, there's 30 men. It's a 30
Yeah.
man match, and for the most, and depending on where you are, you're probably gonna have 5 to 10 people in the ring at once.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have much room to do um some of your moves and things like that. So, you know, just the fact that Ray and Penta was there, it's
Oh,
some
starting it off. It was
just to
so
start it
nice.
off, it was definitely a moment. And I also like that when he first debuted, he wasn't a quote unquote new member of the LWO. He was his own guy. Like you really get to showcase who he is because people forget He is a former world champion. He ain't just a
Yeah, yeah.
tag team guy. So having just Penta, he's been great throughout his tenure thus far. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what they do with him on his first road to WrestleMania. Um, so John Cena was there, his last Royal Rumble appearance. Um, I'm just gonna. I said this after the event ended, and I'm gonna say it here. I don't want to hear no John Cena slander, especially after he eliminated Logan Paul, because it was down to Cena, Paul, and Jay, and out and the role that I was sitting on, we was feeling nervous that Logan might win this whole thing, and it and then when John did the clothesline, got him out of there, we all just exhale at the same time. Uh, honestly, I was rooting for Punk. Maybe Cena would have been a second choice. Um, but Jay Uso winning the Rumble and just the way that it happened, and you know how like that last elimination, it'd be aggressive, you know. All Jay did just push him off the push him off, and Cena just he didn't land on the floor, he landed on his feet, and he just stood there like, what just happened? No.
Yeah.
And then he went back to the ring and just gave him a hug or whatever. Uh Man, I didn't think people was gonna hate on Jay, you know.
No, so such a weird thing, and I definitely want to talk about that because
Yeah,
um I get, on my way home, yeah, I rode with my brother and he was driving on the way home. So I'm going through like Twitter and Facebook and there's so many people complaining.
yeah,
But inside Lucas Oil Stadium,
yeah,
it was all love.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and so it was definitely not the same reaction as what I seen on the internet. I
yeah.
mean, it was all love. Even after the show was over with, he came and brought his son out.
Yes, he did.
Um, yeah, I mean, people were dancing and yelling "yeet"
Yeet.
in the arena, in the hallway,
Yeah,
outside the arena. Like it was all love.
yeah,
So he was not my favorite to win, but it felt good seeing him win. I was
yeah,
happy for him, and I still am.
yeah. Like, and people forget, but Jay, like, this main event thing just wasn't an overnight thing.
No,
Like
no.
this has been going on. This has been growing since the Thunderdome in
Yeah,
2020. Roman gave him the name when Jimmy was hurt, and we got to see Jay as his own man. We got to see him really on his own. So and it was a growing process for Jay. He was just going. We saw the vulnerable side of Jay when he being bullied by Roman. Roman knew that he could be a main event caliber guy, and it took a while to get there. And you know, oh, Jay Uso winning, going from a tag team guy to an emerging singles guy, and he's already an Intercontinental champion, now Royal Rumble
yeah,
winner, and now he's about to go to he's about to main event Royal Rumble, he's about to main event WrestleMania again, this time as a singles guy, and it looks like we're gonna get Jay versus Gunther, which they just had a good match at Saturday Night Main Event.
yeah.
So, and while Gunther wants to be facing you, will not elevate my legacy. But come on, man. Jay Uso, look, it's wrestling is a business. Jay Uso is money right now. He's over.
Yeah,
That's the key word. He's over. And the merch is selling quick. You got fans coming in with the glasses and the Yeet shirts. Like he's box office. You can't deny that. And the main event is no longer just a nickname or a moniker. he's been manifesting it since 2020, and now he's about to be in the main event again. So he's and who knows how long Woman has left in his career. Jay, he look like he's entering the peak now. He's
He
so
does.
and look, just seeing how emotional he got on Monday and just thanking the crowd, thanking the fans and stuff like that. Like there are people to hate in the wrestling industry. Jay Uso is not one of them.
No, not at all.
Like, come on, man. Like this dude he's been look, when you are in a tag team, there are people that want to see what would this person be if he was on his own? If he can, if he was a Jeff Hardy, or if he was a Bubba Ray Dudley, or if he was a Saban or a Shelley, somebody that will go on to be a world champion coming off of a tag team, or even Kofi for the New Day, going just Jay Uso's is looks like he's the next person, it seems like. So look, Las Vegas is gonna be hype. That
Oh
stadium
yeah.
is going to be hype. So I'm all for it. And it looks like, let's just say, if he does go with Gunther. So that elimination chamber for the men's side pretty much means the winner is going to face Cody. And let's just say, as far as the woman's side, if Charlotte were to face Tiffany, well, the winner of that woman's will face the other champion, Rhea. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and Liv, she just qualified. So, and I know Punk and Cena are on the men's side thus far. Um, this is definitely shaping up to be a pretty good road to WrestleMania. I just wonder what they're going to do with Punk, Rollins, and Roman with everything that transpired at the Rumble. Seth he was he was petty. He was petty to the point the obsession is there. He's more obsessed with Roman than he is with Punk for obvious reasons because they got story history. So I'm that's definitely the one thing that's really got me intrigued is Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. What are they going to do with them? Is it going to be a triple threat with those
If
three
that
men?
is a triple threat, then we got to relook at the card because I think arguably, even without a title, that could possibly be a main event.
Oh yeah,
I
De-
I I I think honestly, even without a title, the three of them, that could be a main event night one right there.
yeah. I definitely can see that. Um, Man, there's just so much to unwind there. So, and it's not until April. So we got 2 months to digest it. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Peter, man. I'm glad you had fun at the Royal Rumble. I know I
Oh,
did.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Good seeing you there too.
good seeing you too. And you have fun. Check out Peter Wesley, Wesley Wrights on social media,
Yeah, yeah.
at X and Instagram. He got music on the way. Stay tuned for
Yes.
that. You and this stream's about to go off, so you take it easy, man. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right.